Yeah. If you're planning to use Cisco router as a router in your office or in your home, you need to know some commands to configure it. But for doing the basic configuration, you no need to be a techie guy to do basic configurations like giving a name for the router, putting an IP address. Very simple configurations. You no need to be a certified engineer. You see, it is saying, would you like to enter the initial configuration? Again, I'm telling you, it is only initial configuration using dialog. We always say no here because we do not want to use any dialogue based conversation like someone is asking question. Are you willing to configure management IP address? Then we say yes. Okay, give me the IP address. That will be the next question. If you give the IP address, then next question will be what is the subnet mask? It's like someone is asking question and you answer. But for those who know the commands for configuring all the features of the router, there is no need to put yes here. We always say no. But at least once let us say yes and see how it looks. When you say yes, see, it starts asking question. That is called dialogue based conversation configuration. It's going on. So we say yes only if you are zero in knowledge of configuring a router. Otherwise, don't say yes here. This is only for someone who has got zero knowledge on a router, but they got a router. Because they do not know where to put command, what command to put. For them, this question answer based configuration is needed. Why we don't use this? This is a list of questions. It will ask the first question, even if you don't like to answer, then it will take you to the next question. And the next question also you may not like to answer because you don't want to configure that. You want to configure something which is 20th question. But to reach 20th question, you have to answer all the 19 questions. Oh no, it is very, very, very time consuming one. Not good approach. So it's same like this, you want to return an item you purchased in Amazon. You just want to return. You just got it and opened the parcel, and you saw it is damaged. Not even 5 minutes. This fellow delivered and went. You found it damaged, and you are trying to send it back or asking for replacement. It won't ask. It won't give you that option immediately in Amazon. It will say, hey, upload the picture. And you have to take the picture and upload. You cannot upload from gallery. After that, it will ask you, shall we do a troubleshooting? Or you want to talk to a customer care? If you say, I want to troubleshoot, then it will ask you first question, second question, third question. You have to answer everything. And then at last it will take you to the customer care guy. And customer care guy will do evaluation and he will say, I'll get back to you tomorrow because this is not a replaceable item. You cannot replace it. You cannot return it. This item is not under returning policy, something like that. I faced it here recently, that's what I'm saying. Or sometime, when you go to a bank, you want to just block the ATM card because you lost it. But the bank won't immediately do it. They'll ask you a lot of questions to know that you are the real owner talking to them. After you make them happy saying, yeah, I am the genuine owner, see, I have an email address, this is my date of birth, see, this is the my own branch location, and this is my customer ID. After saying a lot of things, they get convinced, okay, a real owner is talking. And then only they start listening to you. It is too bad, no, the dialogue based. Instead, if you have something where you can go directly and click one button, block my card, boom, easy, right? So a technical guy will not need this dialogue based configuration. Let me go out of it. I just press Control C to go out of it. Now, when will you get this question in first place? You won't see this question every time. Even in the previous class I showed you. This question is asked only if the NVRAM is empty. Only if nothing is saved in the NVRAM. See, NVRAM is a place where our previous configurations are kept. I was teaching you those things in the previous class. NVRAM is on the way between the flash memory. There's a flash memory, there is a DRAM, and here is the NVRAM. NVRAM will only have our configuration. Which configuration? Saved configuration. If you don't save anything, then it will be empty. So what happens when the operating system is decompressed? Internet operating system. What is the file format? Can anyone say the extension, the file extension? What is the file extension of the operating system? .bin. It's an image format, I told you. And that image is copied. A copy of the image is taken. The original image is never disturbed. That copied version of operating system get decompressed into multiple files and gets loaded. On the way, it will go and visit this NVRAM. Hello NVRAM, do you have anything for me? If NVRAM says empty, then it will come here and load the operating system. After loading, it will ask you that question that you saw there. This question comes only if NVRAM is empty. Yeah. So let's say I am going to repeat the same thing what I did in the previous class. I went inside and I put some configuration like host name, it's October router. Just a name, some name I'm giving. You see the name is changed. And now I'm going to save this. The command to save is WR. WR is nothing but write to memory. Instead of typing this big command write to memory, you can simply type WR. Yeah, you can simply type WR. Or if you wish to type the whole thing, you can do it like write to memory. If you notice, no, I don't type the whole command letters. I just type W and then tab the button. I press the tab button, and then I type M and then I press the tab button. It fills the remaining characters for me. Right? Okay, so now I have saved. After saving, see, I'm going to reload this router. When I reload, you won't see that question again. Why? Because we got something in NVRAM. So only if NVRAM is totally blank, that question comes. Would you like to do the configuration dialog based? You see, this time it did not ask you any question. And it can show you now the saved information. When I save, that information got populated into this NVRAM. So the host name that I configured, no, October router, that host name got saved to NVRAM. So after that, I turned off the router, and when I turn on, again the decompression happened. After the decompression, what happened? It went and copied this October router, and then it appeared along with the operating system. Operating system along with the configuration loaded to this DRAM, dynamic RAM. Whatever that loaded into the dynamic RAM is what you will see in the screen. Whatever is loaded is what this is. Whatever you see now is from DRAM. Okay. Now, if I say something interface G0, where these things are actually DRAM. They're not going and saving in NVRAM. If you want to push a copy of all that you configured, you need to type this WR. If not, all that you configured will be erased when the router is turned off. See, this DRAM is volatile. Means what? Whatever is there inside the DRAM is not permanent. As long as the device is running, it will be there. That's why before we turn off the router, we save it to NVRAM so that next day I need not to do the same thing once more. I no need to do whatever I did today again tomorrow. Saving is very important. Okay. Now, the reason why I brought this story one more time is I want to teach this word to you. NVRAM is called as startup config. The configuration that you have saved inside, those configurations are called as startup config. We call it a startup config. Why it is called a startup config? Because NVRAM is a startup memory. Why it is called a startup memory? Because only when the router is getting started, loaded, this memory will be visited. The controller visits the memory only during the starting time when the router is loading. It goes there, copies everything from there, all the startup configuration gets loaded to the DRAM. DRAM has also got another name. All the configuration that you have in DRAM are called as running configuration. Running configuration is DRAM. All the configuration in DRAM is running configuration. All the configuration in NVRAM is startup configuration. These two words are important. Why it is so important? I'll show you why. Now you see, I changed the name, host name, router new 2025. I just changed the name and I want to save this configuration. Earlier I showed you a command called WR. But there is another command. The command which you will like. What is that? Copy the running configuration to startup configuration. I think it makes sense for you now. I think you understand the meaning of it now. Why the command is like this. Copy running configuration to startup configuration. What does it mean? It means that everything that is there in the DRAM, make a copy into NVRAM for future use. So you may use WR, but the difference is this. When you use WR, it immediately goes and copies, goes and saves the copy. But when you say this one, copy run start, it won't immediately write it. Before writing it, before making a copy into NVRAM, it will ask you a permission. Hey, should I save those configurations in this particular file name? If you're okay, then you just hit enter. I'm okay with that, so I hit enter, then it built the configuration, it saved it. Whereas here, it directly builds the configuration. When I type WR or write to memory. When you say copy running start, it won't immediately save. It will ask you a question: is this name okay? It is recommending a name like an artificial intelligence. This is olden days artificial intelligence. It says, shall I save it to startup memory with the file name startup config? And if I hit enter, it's going to use that name and save it. If you wish to have a different name, why not? You can have a different name. Let me show you. Copy running configuration to startup configuration. Start. I can say this is J configuration. Okay. J is not allowed. I think I have to say J-config. Hyphen. Why it is. Destination file. It is not taking. Let me try again. Destination file. No. Come on. Error copying to NVRAM. It's not taking the name that I give. That also it's not taking. But actually you can give this, maybe because of the simulator, no, it's not allowing me. That's the advantage actually. The reason why some people use this command instead of WR. WR is much easier. Just WR. But when they want to give a custom name and save it, they expect you not to type W. This one. See, in CCNA, it's not someone, a human being correcting the paper. It's a software corrects the paper. When you answer, the software will give you a score only if you put this command, not WR. Yeah, NVRAM, correct. Both the commands save in the same place. Yeah. Only the thing is, the option is given for you to give different name for the destination file in copy run start method. WR method will automatically save with this name only. Yeah, the default. Yeah. Okay. So now, just to teach this one, I did this revision for you. So now you know the meaning, what it means, running configuration, and what is startup configuration, why it is called a startup. Because during the starting time only it is reseated and copied. Once it is copied, then it is all there in the running configuration. And whatever the changes that you make in the running configuration, if you wish to save it to startup, then you can use two methods, either write to memory or copy run start. Now, going back here, let's try to learn the modes of a router. I'll delete this one. I'll take fresh router. I don't want to use this. Let's start from the beginning. I drag and drop this first router. And now it boots. It's going to ask me a question because NVRAM is empty. Okay. And now I'm going to say no here. As soon as I say no here, it takes me to a mode, and this mode is called as user mode. This mode is called as user mode. So this is a default name for any router in Cisco, and this greater than symbol, if you see after the name, then you are in user mode. Why are they calling this particular mode as user mode? Only a genuine user can see this prompt. after authentication is enabled, see right now we don't have any authentication enabled. So you are able to see this because it didn't ask you the username and password. It is not configured, so it is not asking. You are seeing it. But in the production, we always put the username and password and lock it. So before showing this, it will definitely ask you to provide the credential. Only when you give the right credential, it will show you this prompt. So to see this prompt, you need to be a genuine user. That's why it is called as a user mode. When you give wrong password, it will never show this mode for you. It will keep asking the password again. It will not allow you inside. How to crack the password, all those stuff comes later. First of all, let us learn what is normal to learn. Now, in this user mode, we cannot do any configuration. If you are in this mode, you can't do any configuration. And you cannot verify all that is configured. Only few statistics of the device, like you can check the routing table, you can ping, you can telnet from this mode. Very few functions, like some show commands, not all show commands, some show commands, ping, trace route, telnet, show IP route, routing table. As I told you, some show commands work here, but not all of them. So this mode is not enough for you to configure. This is not enough for you to know the complete configuration that is done on the router. This will give you only limited statistics. I'll show you. When I put question mark, I will know what all commands supported here. Only this much. Only this much. See, you can SSH from here, you can telnet from here, you can ping from here. You can also type some show commands like show IP route. But if you want to see the running configuration, you can't do. You see, for example, I want to see the startup config. I want to see NVRAM. I say show startup. No, that command is not allowed here. Show running, that is also not allowed here. Show IP route, that is allowed. This is the routing table. Right now we don't have any network configured, so it is blank. So what I'm trying to say here is, this mode has got very limited verification. You cannot use just this mode and say, I verified, I have complete knowledge of what is there in the router. No. You will have only partial things, partial knowledge on the router. Okay, so this mode is like a limited access. And you see, even saving, you can't save anything. This WR used to work, no, but it was working in another mode. I did not put WR in this mode in the previous lab that I demonstrated a few minutes before. The other router. See, you cannot save from here. So what do you understand from this? This is a read mode. User mode is a read-only mode. And also you cannot read completely. Very limited privilege. All right. Now what it is doing actually, when I type WR, this mode do not know what is WR. So it is flooding to whomever it can flood and waiting for the response. But no one is going to respond. So after 1 minute, it came out by saying, I don't know what you typed, unknown command or computer name. I couldn't find what WR means. Yes, this mode will not know. See, we are having different mode. Each mode has got some specific set of commands. only those commands are applicable there. Do you have copy command here? No, there is no copy. The word copy is not here. See, it has got the command and the description of the command. All right. Do you have anywhere copy? No. Do you have anywhere write? No. That's why when I type write, it didn't write. The command is not available here. You can't save anything from this mode. First of all, you can't do any changes, then why you want to save? So no configuration can be done from here. I repeat, just few statistics of the router, few configurations, few show commands like routing table only works here. See, in show, if you know what all show commands it supports, put question mark. These are the commands it supports. Show flash, all these. After show, no, you can type show user, show SSH sessions, show protocol, all this. But you don't see show running and all. Show startup, show running, those commands are not there. All right. So we need to get into another mode if you wish to see the complete configuration in that router. If you wish to see what all configured in running configuration as well as in startup configuration, you need to go to next mode. That's why it is called as turning on the privileged mode, privileged command. So when you type enable, you will be taken to another mode. See, I did not type enable the complete word. I type en. When I type en, it understands that this is the only command available, no? Starting with en. So it understood that I am trying to type enable, and it gave me the remaining able, the letter A, B, L, E when I press the tab. See, I'm inside. So autofilling is done here. And then it has taken me to a mode called privileged mode. It's called privileged mode. The reason is you got the privilege of seeing the complete router configuration. Say for example, when I type show startup, this command was not working in the previous mode. When I type show startup, it says nothing is saved. Startup configuration is not present because I did not save anything. But when I type show running, whatever is in the DRAM, it will show. What is there currently in DRAM? The operating system. See, this is the skeleton of the operating system. Version 16.6.4. The default name is router. IPsec is enabled. Spanning tree mode is in per VLAN. Spanning tree mode. We'll talk about those spanning tree and all later in coming days. And then none of the IP address is up. All are shut down. Sorry, none of the interfaces. All the interfaces are shut down. There is no IP address. See, this is the default skeleton of the operating system. There is no password enabled for any of the login modes. It's blank. Just the skeleton default operating system with no configuration. So to see DRAM, I use this command show running. To see startup configuration means to see NVRAM, I'll say show startup. Not present. But if I now do write, it works here. After writing, if I type show startup, you will see the same copy of running configuration. Previously, when I type show startup, it says not present, but it shows now. It shows now because I pushed a copy of DRAM to NVRAM. Yep. So, privilege mode. What all command works here? Put question mark. You see, you got more commands than the user mode now. User mode was having just a few commands. Here you are able to see many more commands. Yeah. So next is, in this mode also you can't do any configuration. Though you are privileged, but you are not privileged to configure. Sorry. You are privileged to see the complete router's statistics. Complete statistics. Complete. Not limited. Complete. But you are not allowed to do any configuration in this mode. If you wish to configure, then you need to type this command. You can also see it here. You can put the command configure to enter into the configuration mode, right? So we were initially in the user mode, and then in the user mode we typed enable to get into privileged mode. Now in the privileged mode we type, privileged mode will have hash. Okay, now in the privilege mode we type configure terminal. I repeat, you can type the complete word configure, or you can simply type conf space T. That is enough actually, it will understand. Because there is no command starting with conf other than this one. So it understands that you are planning to type configure. See? CO, it won't fill the remaining words. N also it won't fill. Why? Because there are another command. There are more than one command with CON. So it's confused which one to fill. But when I put F and tab, it fills the remaining character. Always try using the tab. Very good practice. Don't type every single character. And now put question mark. There is only one command called terminal. Why you need to type the whole word? Just put T, or you want to press tab, you can press the tab. Hit enter. See, you can type this fully like this, or you can simply type like this. Both are same. It is taking you to a mode called configure mode. Okay, so from the privilege mode, now you are into router -config in the bracket mode. Right, sorry, this is configuration mode. Global. This is also called as global configuration mode. You can also simply call it as configuration mode. Configuration mode. All right. You are right now inside the configuration mode, meaning only from this mode onwards you can do configurations. There are various configuration mode. This is the base. From here you can go to a router configuration mode if you are trying to enable a routing protocol. Or you can go to interface mode to configure IP address on the interface. In this mode, you cannot put IP address. For an interface, if you want to put IP address, you need to go inside that interface. In this configuration mode, you can only configure those things that are common for the router, not just for the interface. It should be common, like host name. Host name, I'm going to say router 1. Just a name change. See, the host name keyword, it is one word. There is no space between host and name. Host name, one word. And you don't need to memorize any command. Don't memorize. When you do 2-3 times, automatically the command will go into your mind. 1 or 2 times we'll make mistake when we type command. That's why you have question mark. Put question mark. and correct yourself. If you do that, then you will not memorize. Put question mark and correct yourself. He said something host name, but why it is not working? Put question mark, then you will understand it's a single word. Host name is not two word, it's a single word. See, the host name belong to the whole router. Likewise, banner. Banner, if someone is trying to log in, I want to show a banner. So I'm saying banner during the login time, show this. This is the property of ABC and Co. Right? So we say if someone is putting the username and password and logging in, to them you show this one. There is also something called message of the day. That is also a banner. MOTD, message of the day. Have a wonderful. I want to save the configuration. You can't do saving in the configuration mode. Configuration mode is to configure. If you want to save, you need to go to the privilege mode. So I go exit. I type exit. I go to the privilege mode. And then either I type copy, run, start, or I type WR. Any one you do. Fine. Now let us get out and come in and see whether the message of the day appears for us. You see? Have a wonderful day. Message of the day is appearing. Why it is not showing me this is the property of ABC and Co? Because it is only to show if someone is logging in. Have we logged in? No. We did not set the login first of all. So that one which we configured is not coming here because this is not for simply to show. This is only for when someone logs in to the router. Okay, so that's the difference. Now, can anyone tell me the command to get into privilege mode? Right now I'm in the user mode. Right now I'm in the user mode. What is the command to go to privilege mode? Yep. Enable, and then what is the command to go to the configuration mode? Config. Now, see, let us try to enable authentication. This one which you are seeing is a console. Yesterday we learned the difference between logging through a console, logging through a Ethernet port. Console port will not have Ethernet encapsulation. It's a serial. The other port where we pass the traffic, they use encapsulation as Ethernet in layer 2. Ethernet you need an IP. To log in through console you don't need an IP. That's what we learned. Right now we did not use any IP to log in. We used console. Now I want to enable authentication for those who log in through console. How to do that? In the global configuration mode, means in this configuration mode, you type line console 0. What does that 0 signifies? It means the first port of the console. How many console ports you will have? 1, sometime 2. Why 2? It is because RJ45 is not the only console port. For your mobile phone, you have a small port, no? That kind of port is also available in modern high-end devices as a console port. Yeah, I'm not joking. You can take your Samsung data cable, connect to the router, and connect the USB port side to your laptop. Yeah, that. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm trying to tell you. I recently saw that. Console 0, console 1. There's also a console port. All right. So we're going to our packet tracer. So what do you call that connector as? The one which I showed you now? You are giving some name. Is that the name for this? Okay, USB C type, huh? Okay, fine. Now, where are we? I want to set password for line console 0. I say password ABC. Ask this password whenever someone logs in. That's it. You have to put the command login and you have to give the password. Now, how many times I need to type exit to go to the privilege mode so that I can save it? I have to type 2 times. Or you can type end. It will take you straight to the privilege mode. You don't need to type 2 times exit. So I save it and then I exit from here. This time it is going to show me that this is the property of ABC and Co. And now you see, unless I give the password, I will never see the user mode. I will never see the user mode unless I give the right password. That's why it's called user mode. And the password I gave is ABC, I think. Yeah. You see? Only after that, see, even when I type some character, it won't show you the dots or asterisk. Why? Security. Cisco don't want someone to guess from distance and how many characters I type. Okay, so we have learned modes like user mode, privilege mode, configuration mode, line console mode. Now, if you want to give an IP address to a router, for example, this router is connected to a switch. Yesterday, I showed you how to connect the wires between the routers and the switch. And you got a PC in the yesterday's lab. And then we got another wire connecting this PC and the. And if you wish to give an IP address to G001, so it's G000 000, you need to go inside that mode. How do we do that? First, you go to the configuration mode. And then from there, you say interface, I want to go. And the interface name is this. This is interface mode. Under the global configuration mode, this is interface. By default, interfaces are down for security reason. You see, it's down. Though router is working, the port is down. That's why red in color. Whereas on the switch side, all the ports are up by default. Then why it is red here? For this to become green, this need to come up. Only then the protocols can talk each other and become green. So when I type no shut, by default it is shutdown. Put no in front of the shutdown to cancel the shutdown. You see the interface is coming up. Not only that, the protocols are also now able to pass through. So that makes the other side also green now. So soon, this amber will turn into green. You will see that. Switches, they will take some time and we will be learning a topic called STP. There we will learn why it is so long to become green. It will be listening and learning on the port, listening of 15 seconds, listening to what? Listening to the topology information, and then learning the MAC address of the connecting device, and so on. We'll go deep into that when we go there. Now, interfaces come up, and I would like to give an IP address here. Let's say I want to give 10.0.0.10. So let me say like this: IP space address 10.0.0.10. You must always type the mask. That's it. Now instead of typing 2-time exit to go to privilege mode, I can type end and then save. Finish. Let's verify. Show IP interface brief. I'm able to see the interface with IP address. So now we have verified. See, there is an IP address on the interface, and the interface is also up. And what is next? Let's go test it. I go to this PC, give the IP address to this PC, let's say 10.0.0.1, and go to this command prompt and try pinging the router's address 10.0.0.10. If I get reply, then there is connectivity between them. Look at this, they're already pinging. I'm pinging from IP config, I'm pinging from 10.0.0.1 to 10.0.0.10. That simple is to put an IP address and check connectivity between this PC and the router. Right? This is just an introduction to Cisco iOS. Same iOS is what you will see on switches, you see. Only the name will be different. Go to CLI. Instead of router, it is return switch. Here also enable will work. Here also config T will work. Here also line VTY will, live console will work. If you know one device, you know the other device. Right? So I'll stop here and